Very good morning, students. So in the very first lecture of Obelia, we had studied about the overall structure of the Obelia colony, and then we had discussed that why it is called as a colony. In that particular video, we had talked about the three types of individuals or the zooids which are found in Obelia. So the first was the polyp, second was the gonozoid, and third was the Medusa. In this particular video, we'll be talking about the structures and histology of all these three types of zooids. So now we are starting with the first type of zooid, which is called as the polyp. It is also called as hydranth. Now this polyp is the nutritive zooid of the colony. As discussed earlier, the polyps, they have got mouth in the center, so that's why they can feed upon the food which is present inside the water. So a nutritive zooid is also called as a gastrozoid. So polyp is also called as a gastrozoid, or sometimes it is also referred to as trophozoid. It is a yellowish body which has got many tentacles, and these tentacles have a very special feature that they have got stinging cells. These are called as nematocysts. Here in this diagram you can very well see the presence of a number of tentacles, and these tentacles have got the stinging cells. So what is the function of the stinging cells? That they hold the prey, and they can sting the prey and they can paralyze it. So after the paralysis of the prey, the tentacles, they hold the food and they put up into the mouth, which is present in the very center of this polyp. Now this is a histological diagram of a polyp. Here you can see this is the outermost layer, which is called as hydrotheca. So this is the perisarc which is present around the polyp. So that was a protective coating which is present outside the polyp. So the polyp, the whole of the polyp can retract or protract out of this hydrotheca. Secondly, we had the second layer, the inside layer, is called as the coenosarc, which was further divided into three layers. So the outermost layer of the coenosarc is ectoderm. So this is the outermost layer, and the ectodermal cells have got muscular properties. The second layer of the polyp or the coenosarc is the mesoglia. This is a very thin kind of a layer, and the innermost layer, here it is mentioned as gastrodermis, and the in between the gastrodermal layers is present the coelentron, or this is the central body cavity, or it is also referred to as the gastrovascular cavity. On the very top you can see the distal end is produced into a conical elevation, which is called as the manubrium. So this part is the manubrium, and at the tip of the manubrium we have the mouth. So the mouth is directly opening up into the gastrovascular cavity, which is present in the center. Now something about the second zooid, which is the gonozoid. This particular structure is the second zooid, which is the blastostyle or the gonozoid, or it is also referred to as the gonangium. So this is the body which is producing Medusa, which is the third kind of a zooid. So here the number of these gonozoids, it is quite less as compared to the number of the polyps in the colony. A blastostyle, it has a very narrow or elongated tube, and its distal end, it ends blindly. So it is devoid of any kind of mouth or tentacles. There is no tentacle as such, and it has got a very reduced gastrovascular cavity. So there is nothing which is related to the feeding mechanism. So what happens here? This particular structure is the blastostyle. So small protuberances, they occur at the base of the blastostyle and they grow as they go up. So here you can see that the size of the pustules or the medusae, they are very small at the base. So as they go up, they are becoming larger. So on the very tip you have the adult medusae or fully formed medusae. So when a medusa is fully developed, it goes out of this pore, which is also called as the gonopore. And this particular layer is called as the gonotheca. So gonotheca is the covering of this gonangium or the gonozooid. This particular diagram also shows a gonangium. So these are the fully grown medusae and this is the gonopore. So ultimately they will go out of the gonopore into the water. This picture shows the third zooid of Obelia, which is the Medusa. Now this Medusa has got a very similar histology which is very comparable to a polyp. So it has also got the epidermis, mesoglea and the gastrodermis. It can also feed. So it has a mouth and on the very tip of the manubrium. Manubrium is the second part. This hanging is called as the manubrium. Then it has got 4 radial canals. These are the 4 radial canals. On these 4 radial canals are present 4 gonads. And this Medusa can be male or it can be a female. If it is a male Medusa, it will be having 4 testes. If it is a female Medusa, then it will be having 4 ovaries. Then after 4 radial canals, it has got a 1 circular canal on the periphery. So this is the circular canal. And these are the tentacles. And tentacles have got stinging cells. So here you can see small protrudings which are the stinging cells. So it can catch the prey, paralyze it and can eat it. So these medusae, they are also called as the jellyfishes. They are quite transparent and they can swim in water. They are umbrella-like structures. At the base of each adradii tentacle, it has got a statocyst. So a medusa has got 8 statocysts. So these statocysts, they help the medusa to maintain the equilibrium, or we can say to maintain the balance while swimming in water. So students, that was all about the basic structure of the 3 zooids. Sometimes you get a question on that how Obelia shows polymorphism, and this is the most important question in Obelia. So here it is worth mentioning that Obelia has got 3 types of zooids: polyps, gonozooids and medusae. So that's why it is trimorphic in nature. Trimorphic means it has got 3 kinds of morphologies, 3 kinds of zooids. That's why it was called as Obelia colony. So Obelia shows polymorphism.